everyone, thank you for watching today's video. I am so excited to do because I'm going to be sharing my review of Home Chef. I know this is a different video for my channel and you've probably seen a lot of these videos floating around, but I can't even tell you how excited I am to A, to be able to try the service, and B, to tell you all of my thoughts on it and how it worked out for me. So this video is in sponsorship with Home Chef, so a huge thank you to them for allowing me to work with them and to be able to use their service and then to be able to give my thoughts to you. This is a service and a review video that means a lot to me personally, and if you can't tell, like, I'm just very excited to make this video and to share my thoughts on it because it's something that I've been wanting to do for the longest time. If you guys do not know, I like to call myself an undomestic goddess because I am not great at a lot of things that a domestic goddess should be good at, but that includes the kitchen and that includes cooking. So I have a lot of different thoughts when it comes to Home Chef. I'm gonna walk you through the process of ordering, how it was for me signing up, and then share a little bit about getting my box and the food and all of that good stuff. So I have a lot to cover in today's video. I'm very, very excited to do this one. So why don't we go ahead and jump into it. Alrighty, so before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that Home Chef did give me a code for $30 off your first order. If you go ahead and check the description box, you'll see the link right there. If you click on that one, you will be able to get $30 off your first box, which is pretty cool. So honestly, it was actually Jen Loves Reviews that talked me into Home Chef. I watched her video. I will link it as well in my description box. I watched her video and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I decided to sign up with Home Chef, and then I actually got approached to do this video, and I was very excited about that because I had already made up my mind that I was going with Home Chef. So like I said, that I like to call myself the undomestic goddess. I have never been good at cooking or just really anything with the kitchen. It's not my thing. It's not my foray. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to start a meal service delivery program and why I thought it would be good to review for you guys right now is because, you know, in the past several months here, my personal life, my home life has kind of been shifted in a lot of different ways. And it's affected something as, you know, simple as the meals that we have at our nights at home. And so if you guys don't know, my husband lost his job in January. Now, I have been with Midge for 11 years and he has always liked to cook. It's always been his thing. He loves putting together recipes. He loves being in the kitchen. He loves cooking, and that is why our marriage works. Someone feeds me. That's fantastic. I'm just kidding. But it's such a good thing because try as I might to love cooking and to get so invested in Pinterest, it's just not for me. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have, it just doesn't bode well for me, okay? So Mitch lost his job in January. He is since working, but he works 90 minutes away from our home. So instead of getting home at 5 o'clock, 5:30 and making dinner for us, some nights he's not home till 7:30, even 8 o'clock. So there's a lot of nights where, you know, either we're just doing dinner separately, he's having dinner on the road, I'm, you know, having a bowl of cereal at home, or I'm trying to make something to have on the table by the time he gets home, because he's arriving home so late. If you follow me on other platforms such as Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram stories, you will see that a lot of times those meals are frozen pizzas. Kraft mac and cheese, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to cook. I don't like grocery shopping. I don't like any of it. None of it's for me. So since our life at home has switched recently, I'm like, there needs to be a change around here because I can't continually, like, Kraft mac and cheese is very inexpensive and that's great, but we can't keep eating mac and cheese and ramen and tuna fish sandwiches at night. Like, something has to change here and I need to figure it out. I need to somehow step it up so I can be helping. And that's when I decided to do a meal service delivery. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it helps understand why I'm so excited to do this video, because it is something that means a lot to me. And it's something that really, I think is going to help us out in the coming months here as we kind of decide what it is that we're doing and how we're gonna handle him working so far away from where we live. I signed up for it and I went online. I was able to, you know, after you enter all your information and all that fun stuff, something that I noticed right off the bat was that it had you put in your preferences. So if you are a vegetarian, if you are on a low carb diet, you can put that in there so the recipes that you get will reflect that. You can also, you know, note if you have any allergies or if there's any foods that you don't like, anything like that. They have a lot of different options so you can really customize the recipes that you're going to get. I noticed that right away and I thought that was pretty awesome. There's also 17 weekly menu options that you get to choose from. So there's a lot of different variety in there. They have, you know, meats and seafoods, obviously the vegetarian options, pasta options. They have quick little options like 5-minute lunches in there, smoothies, which again, if you follow me, you know I love smoothies. So they have a lot of different options and it comes out to be $9.95 per serving. I will be honest, when I first heard $9.95 a serving, I thought, that's expensive, right? Like I kind of thought about it for a second. I'm like, I feel like that seems kind of pricey. And then I started thinking about it, and as Mitch and I would go out to eat, I would look to see how much we were spending. And I mean, so we're having a $20 meal at home. When we go out to eat, I mean, if we spend $30, that's pretty inexpensive, but most of the time we're more in the $40, $50 range. And sometimes it can get even higher. So once I broke it down like that and really thought about it and what we spend going out to eat, I was like, okay, $9.95 a serving, that's not bad. Also, when you go online, you can choose how many servings you want. So if you have a family, if you have more people that you need to feed, you can do it that way. Or if you want to order extra servings of something, like if you want to have, you know, another meal of that week or whatnot, you can order in the extra servings as well. You can also choose how many meals that you want to have delivered to you. We're gonna go back between 2 and 3. And it's just gonna be a thing where if we're gonna be home a lot, we know we don't have much going on that week, we're gonna go with 3 meals. If we know we're gonna be a little bit busier, maybe gone, you know, here and there throughout the week, then we're gonna do 2 meals. So that's kind of how we decided to do it for us, but I think that's really cool to have that option when you're planning on ordering. Also, you can choose the day that you want the food delivered. I chose Friday for myself. Monday and then the weekends are the only days that they're not delivered, but you can choose Tuesday through Friday. But I really liked how customizable it was to you, to your preferences, and to works best for you. So I do have a little clip in here of me getting my Home Chef box and opening it up and showing you guys what it looked like. So I'll go ahead and insert that clip here for you now. So I just got my first box in. So I just opened it up. I'm in my kitchen, so it is a little bit dark. So on the top here, I see the recipes, the recipe cards for each of the meals that I ordered. So we have the Korean pork medallions, which I think I'm gonna make first, and then also the hot honey salmon. So I'm excited about these. I see everybody with their binders. I feel like I'm well on my way to being part of the IT crowd. Yes. Okay, so then on top here, this is what it looks like. And then inside we have our meals. So this here is some ice, it's keeping everything cool, which is great. And then let's keep digging in here. Oh, it smells really good. Okay, so then this is the first bag, and I've been watching people's videos, you know, trying to see how it works too. And it's really nice that each meal is in each bag, so I don't kind of have to be fumbling around for, you know, what it is that I'm doing and what ingredients that I need. So this is the second bag here. All right, and then we have another bag at the bottom here. So that looks like my meat and then also my salmon. Excuse you, this food is not for you. This is for me and your father. So we did already make one of our meals, and then I wanted to be able to do this video where I hadn't made the second meal yet so I can show you how it came. So I noticed right away that the meat and the seafood came in a separate bag. So each of the bags look like this, and then they are also labeled so you know which meal it is. So this is the Korean pork medallions, and everything in here is already proportioned out and just ready for you to cook. So you don't have to deal with any of that. You don't have to grocery shop for anything extra. Just everything that you need is in this bag. And it's really funny, when we were making the salmon, one of the steps was to get the butter out and soften it, and I was like, oh no, do we have enough butter for this? I didn't even think about grabbing stick butter, and Mitch was like, no, the butter's in here, like it's already there. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I thought that was pretty nice. So this is just an example of what one of the bags look like. And then again, like I said, the meat and the seafood, because we also did order salmon and then also the pork, these came in separate bags. The one thing that I really like about how everything is pre-proportioned out for you is it means I don't have to go to the grocery store and buy things. I'm that person who does my grocery shopping online because I just hate going to the grocery store. I don't know, something about it. I don't like going. I don't like leaving my house. I don't like parking. I don't like any of it. So I often order my groceries online. So I think it's pretty cool that everything comes to you, everything is ready to go. But I didn't realize how much I would enjoy having things already proportioned out for me. So for example, when we were cooking the salmon, you know, we had the exact right amount of butter, exact right amount of thyme, like something as simple as thyme. But like, the one thing that really stuck out to me was the honey, because it was a hot honey salmon that we made. There was the exact amount of honey that we would need. A lot of times when I am making food and I'm looking at recipes on Pinterest, I decide not to go with certain items because I think, well, it calls for that and we're never going to use that again. So we are going to waste that ingredient. Why even bother getting, like, for example, honey? I've never really seen like these small little packets of honey like how we had for the recipe. You have to buy like the big jars or even like little smaller jars, but still that's a lot of honey, and I can't think of any other time we've used honey in the house. So I think that's really nice, and it makes me kind of want to expand my food range more. I'm very picky, and both Mitch and I definitely have a comfort zone. We do a lot of the same meals over and over and over again, which can become boring, and then that's often when we start going out to eat a lot, which is very pricey. So I just thought that that was really cool, and it kind of opened up new recipes for us, because it's like, well, now we don't have to worry about wasting ingredients, because not only are they being delivered to us, they're being delivered in their exact proportion to us. So I definitely did want to point that out. Like I said, when it does come to serving sizes, you are getting an exact serving size. This can also be something really good if you kind of watch what you eat or watch the proportions that you eat. A lot of times when it does come to meals, it can be very hard to only eat what you need to eat. Like, I'm someone who overeats if I just really like something and it's there. You know, you go to a restaurant and you have a huge plate come out, you're like, I'm gonna finish it all because I'm paying for it. And even though I'm really full and I don't need this extra food, I'm going to keep eating it. It's a good thing about Home Chef that it is, you know, proportioned correctly. So when we had the salmon and vegetables the other night, we each had, you know, a decent size of salmon, but it wasn't anything too much. And then we also had our vegetables as well. The zucchini was with that one. So I think that's good. At the same time, if you are someone who you typically like leftovers, you like making certain things, pasta or casseroles, because you want those leftovers, you're not necessarily going to get that with Home Chef. For me, it's not a bad thing because Mitch actually doesn't eat leftovers, and I sometimes can't eat them quickly enough before they go bad. So I did want to point that out though, because I think it's something that's important. I've been talking about this service with my girlfriends a lot, and you know, giving my reviews to them, and that was one of the questions that came up that they had was, well, like, how much extra food are you getting, and things like that. And so I did want to go ahead and point that out as well. Again, it's just another reason why I'm excited to do this video, and I feel like I'm talking fast because I'm excited, but it's because it's something that I've been so excited about. I've been talking about to people in my real life. When we were making the meal the other night, I was snapping all my girlfriends like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. I'm making salmon at home. Like, look at me. When it comes to actually making the meals, so you get this, and I remember Mitch looking at this because, you know, they sent a blank one. There's, you know, there's a couple like welcome to Home Chef pages in here. And he goes, I don't really get why they send us this binder. That seems kind of dumb. And then I was like, well, it's because you get the recipe cards and you put the recipe cards in the binder. He was like, that makes so much more sense, and that's actually really cool. It was just kind of funny. So you get the binder that would come with your first order, and then you do get the recipe cards with each of your orders that you get. So we ordered the Korean pork medallions, and then we also ordered the hot honey salmon, which is the meal that we already made. So one thing that I think is really important to note is on the bottom of these cards, they have the prep and cook time, which is just good to know for yourself. They have a difficulty level. They also have a spice level, which is important for me because I really don't like anything with spice. And then it also has a cook within day. So when we were trying to decide which meal to cook first, the salmon says cook within 3 days, and the pork medallion is said to cook within 6 days. So that's why we decided to go with the salmon to make. So that's something that's also pretty important to look at. It'll also list out what is in your box, and then on the back here is the actual recipe card, and it'll walk you through step by step, and it has photos in here of what everything should look like, which I think is awesome. It'll say, you know, what it is that you need so you can get all your ingredients out first. It'll have what to do before you cook, such as preheating the oven, like with the salmon, getting the butter out to soften it. And then it's just super easy, you know, it has the 1, 2, 3 list of ingredients and so on. We already made the salmon, and again, we did that one together because he was home with Memorial Day. So we made that one together. The majority of these Home Chef meals though, if we're doing it during the week, I'll be making by myself. If we make them on the weekends, he'll probably be able to make them with me. It's nice to do if I am doing it by myself, because especially after doing something like salmon where I was very intimidated by it, I felt confident, and Mitch really kind of stepped back and he let me do it. And he, you know, if I had any questions like what was the thing that it had to do with the time, like we had to seed the time or something like, and I was like, I don't know what that means. Stem the time. I was like, I don't know what that means. And he watches all those cooking shows, so he was like explaining to me what to do. But it definitely made me feel a lot more confident. So if I have to do it by myself, I feel like I can do it, because I feel like everything was, you know, well prepared, well written for me. And then it also just truly helps having everything ready to go, everything, you know, already measured out. That will help me out so much. But if we are doing it together like we were over the weekend, it's just something fun to be able to do with your partner if you're able to do that. And we just had a good time in the kitchen and making the meal. So I appreciated that about the cards that you get. That was a little bit of my progress. I'm mostly just here to like review and break down the process for you. So I didn't actually record us doing that. And like I said, Mitch was also doing it with me, and Mitch has not joined me on camera up to this point. So I didn't feel super comfortable filming that. I will put in a photo of the salmon and the vegetables that we made. I was pretty proud of it. But I also wanted to chat about one thing that I also really enjoy with it is that there's no binding contracts to this, because that's kind of the thing that freaked me out a little bit when I was first really thinking about getting a meal service delivery. I was like, well, you know, what if we're just busy? What if we go out of town? What if we have a lot of days where we know we're doing something after work and we're just gonna have all this food sitting around? Like, that just seems to be a waste. There is no binding contracts. You can skip any weeks that you want. When I joined, actually, I skipped the first week and went on to the second week. And I'm a pretty picky eater and a fairly particular eater. There's a lot of things I won't eat. And so even though there are 17 meal options each week, which I think is really, really awesome, I think there's a lot in there to choose from, there's still some times where there's only one meal that's really calling to me, or one thing that I really want to try. So if that happens for those weeks, I know that I can go ahead and skip over it and it'll be okay. There's also weeks where I've kind of looked ahead on the calendar and there's been 3, 4 options that I want to do, and it's kind of, I know it's going to be hard to narrow it down. So it just kind of depends with you. But you know, if you are traveling, if you have a busy week, if you also see items that you just don't think really will work out for you, it's super simple to skip a week, which I think is great. I do want to say, if you do sign up for your first meal, you can't use the skip a meal button on there. On the website, if you want to skip over that week, you can simply hit that button and it'll skip right over that week. If it is your first time signing up, you do need to email Home Chef and let them know. So that is what I had to do. They got back to me less than 24 hours and said, no problem, we went ahead and skipped it for you. Your menu is ready to make the changes when you're ready for the second week. And I was like, okay, thank you. So I wanted to throw that in there because that was something that happened to me, but also it was kind of nice because I was able to contact customer service, and I wasn't contacting them as a blogger or anything like that. You know, I didn't reach out to the gal who I've been working with for this video. I used their direct customer service and said that I needed to make a change. So that was really awesome for me. It was nice to see that I was able to get help right away and it was immediately solved. So another thing too, I think you can schedule, I think it's up to 5 weeks out. So if you are traveling or you're a meal planner or anything like that, or you just want to have your menus in there and ready to go, you can actually book several weeks out in advance. You can go ahead and pick your meals out already, and they do have such a great variety of meals. It has me pretty darn excited. So other than that, that is basically it for everything that I wanted to say for the video. That is everything that I've experienced so far with, you know, placing my order, getting my Home Chef box, creating the first meal, and just kind of my feedback and experience so far with it. Like I said, this is just a review that I'm really excited for because I think it's going to be something that's going to help me out a lot in my personal life. If you just take away for a second, you know, the beauty blogger, and I'm mostly talking about makeup, I'm still a regular old person over here who eats eats dinner every night, and you know, with it falling on me to be more responsible for making dinners, for really contributing that way, which has been different for, you know, so many years. We've kind of operated a different way. This one had me really excited to review and to let you guys know my feedback. You know, Home Chef, they did send me a credit so I could get the first box on them to make this video, but we already have our next order placed in there. You know, my credit card information is now in there with Home Chef. We are the ones that are paying for it going forward. We're both very impressed by it, and we're going to continue the service going forward on our own as well. So would I recommend Home Chef? You know, if it's something that you think that you need and a service that you think that you would enjoy, I personally would say yes, that I would recommend this, because I'm going to be using it myself going forward as well. So other than that, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope that you found it helpful. Another big thank you to Home Chef for working with me on this video. I've been really excited about this one and to tell you guys my thoughts. So get ready for more cooking snaps and IG stories and all that fun stuff, because now that I feel confident and know that I can review it and, you know, share my process with everyone, I will be snapping quite a bit of it, because now I know that my undomestic goddess ways are about to change. But other than that, guys, I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.